Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
On this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we travel across the country for animal health tips from Zoetis. Plus, a look at how Zoetis is supporting the real-world dreams of agricultural students.
And now, a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. This week, we're heading across the country for animal health advice from Zoetis. Let's get started. Bovine respiratory disease is a major problem for cattle, and it continues to cause serious economic losses for producers. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Sharon Alseth has more on how ranchers can help protect their cattle's performance and value by vaccinating for respiratory diseases.
Scott Bittigan's family has a long ranching heritage. The T4 Cattle Company in eastern New Mexico has been in business for more than a century, and Scott is the fifth generation to raise cattle on this land.
T4 has been in our family for over 100 years, started in 1902. Cow-calf operation, keep all our calves to their yearlings and then sell them.
There are many keys to success at T4 Cattle Company, but Scott knows the health of the herd is at the top of the list. It's important to get calves off to a good start and help bolster their immune systems early to help fight against costly and deadly respiratory diseases.
Herd health, I think, is a foundation for that calf to go to maturity. So we look at it very closely. We keep a close eye.
To me, it's a lot better to prevent a disease than it is to try to treat a disease. It's a lot more economical, and you get more satisfaction from prevention than you do going out and treating all the time.
Bovine respiratory disease remains the most economically devastating condition in the beef industry. Unfortunately, at T4 Cattle Company, they've experienced firsthand the negative impact of BRD.
One year it was kind of droughty, and we took our calves to the feed yard or grow yard because we ran out of grass. And that year they broke heavily. We lost probably 70, 80 head out of 500.
That's when Scott and his family turned to Enforce 3 from Zoetis, formerly Pfizer Animal Health. Enforce 3 helps protect against three major pneumonia-causing viral pathogens, including BRSV, IBR virus, and PI3 virus. And Enforce 3 is the first and only cattle respiratory vaccine labeled for prevention of disease caused by BRSV, which is especially important in nursing calves.
BRSV vaccine is important at branding time because I see too many calves that do not make it to weaning if they have not had BRSV vaccine.
In addition to superior BRSV protection, Enforce 3 helps stimulate a quick immune response. The intranasal mode of administration also helps provide local immunity in the nasal passages, where the respiratory viruses attack first.
I'm a believer in Enforce because of the theory behind it. When you give it through the nose, they respond to it quickly. So we started doing that at Brandon, and this last couple of years that we've used that, we've seen a great result in our calves. They're healthier. We're not seeing the respiratory disease or respiratory problems that we saw in the previous years.
Enforce 3 is a really good product to use at branding or turnout time in these young calves. It also stimulates what we call a mucosal response or a local response at the very point of where these viruses enter into these animals. Enforce 3 can prime the immune system by creating what we call a memory response. So above and beyond the immediate local response, it stimulates a memory of the immune system of these calves, so when they see a disease entity, a pathogen later on, or they see another vaccination, even in the form of a subcutaneous viral vaccine later on in life, the immune system basically says, I've seen that before, this must be very important for me to respond to.
Considering what happened a couple years ago when we lost all those calves at the feed yard, I truly believe if we'd used Enforce 3 beginning that year, we wouldn't have had that kind of a wreck on our hands. The cattle seem to respond to that quicker than what we were using before for the respiratory part.
If calves are not properly protected against respiratory viruses, they can weaken the calf's immune system, making them more susceptible to bacterial infection. That's why it's important that producers vaccinate their cattle against both viral and bacterial agents. Producers should work with their veterinarian to consider including a vaccine like One-Shot in their program. One-Shot helps provide protection against Mannheimia hemolytica, one of the top calf killers.
It's important for producers to be concerned about both viral and bacterial pathogens because they work in synergy and in a progression of events to ultimately end up in the bovine respiratory disease complex. One-Shot is a good vaccine to consider to use to vaccinate against Mannheimia hemolytica. That is a bacterial pathogen and still generally accepted to be the #1 end-stage bacterial killer of calves in the bovine respiratory disease complex.
When I was in college, my dad had a real bad outbreak of Pastorella when we weaned. And we weaned everything here at the ranch, so when they started dropping, it was kind of opened their eyes to what was going on. And so Doc Tompkins got involved. They did a lot of research on what was going on with their calves and found out it was Pastorella, and the One-Shot best fit our program at that point. So we give that at Brandon and at weaning. It's working very well.
While it's important that producers work with their veterinarian to develop a respiratory vaccination program that helps provide protection against both viral and bacterial pneumonia, it's also key that they use products that have been demonstrated to be effective when used concurrently.
We've done the research to show that Enforce 3 and One-Shot are compatible, do not interfere with each other, and so therefore make a good choice at branding time and turnout because of that factor. One-Shot we often use at branding or turnout time to get that 1-2 punch of a viral vaccination such as with Enforce, and then to vaccinate against the #1 end-stage bacterial killer, Mannheimia hemolytic. Kind of a comprehensive program to give to these calves at that age.
If you can protect the virus and the bacteria at the same time, giving them like Enforce 3 and One-Shot at the same time, and they do not interfere with each other.
In addition, some producers might want to consider adding a BVD vaccination to their program. For those producers concerned with BVD, Bovishield Gold BVD is available and can be used along with Enforce 3 and One-Shot.
BVD is a complex disease entity even in and of itself. It certainly contributes to the bovine respiratory disease complex, but it also is a part of a reproductive consideration in cow-calf operations. The Bovishield Gold BVD is an injectable BVD that we can give in addition to the intranasal Enforce 3 to get as comprehensive of a viral protection program as possible.
If a ranch has a problem with BVD virus in their herd, and we've done some ear notch testing, IHC testing for surveillance on this ranch, and the BVD vaccine is one more avenue of helping control BVD virus in your herd.
We were using the Bovishield Gold 5 until we started using the Enforce, and we did not want to leave out the BVD, and since they made that available with just straight BVD, it was a no-brainer. We just brought it on and started using it.
Building an effective vaccination program begins with choosing the right vaccines, and it's essential that a veterinarian is involved in herd health decisions. Additionally, veterinarians can help producers look for vaccines with high quality control standards and the most science behind them.
I think it's very important to have a good team. My Zoetis rep and my vet are a crucial part of my decision making. They're the experts in that field. The vet is an expert in all the health. My Zoetis rep is an expert in the vaccine and what it can do for my company, my cattle. I think that's a crucial part for anybody's operation, is to have that knowledge. Knowledge is power, and if you have that, I think you can go a long ways.
We undergo a lot of safety and efficacy research just in the approval of the products, and then continue to research those products in production situations to make sure that they're bringing optimal benefit to the producers and veterinarians that use and recommend them out there.
To me, a company that stands behind their products and has the research and development to prove whether it's good or what is just real important.
With nursing calves at branding or turnout, Enforce 3, One Shot, and Bovishield Gold BVD can help calves kickstart their fight against bovine respiratory disease.
A very comprehensive program of Enforce 3, Bovishield Gold BVD, and One Shot is a good idea because it allows us a very comprehensive approach to many or most of the pathogens that these calves need to be protected against as they go on into the production cycle.
Pounds pay, so if the calf can stay healthy its entire duration, that's just more pounds he's going to put on. It's going to be healthier for everybody involved with that calf.
Reporting from eastern New Mexico, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about Enforce 3, One Shot, Bovishield Gold, BVD, or any other Zoetis products, log on to our website at cattlementocattlemen.org.
No storm is too powerful for new Purina Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, formulated with ultimate weather resistance. That means more minerals in the feeder and available to your cattle. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals provide more consistent intake and balanced mineral nutrition to optimize herd health and breedback rates. See the difference at your local Purina dealer or visit cattlenutrition.com. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, another way Purina is building better cattle.
NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. It's a television show by cattlemen for cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Each week, join host Kevin Oxner for the latest in beef cattle news, market analysis, and producer education. Cattlemen won't want to miss an episode. Debuting Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on RFD-TV or anytime at cattlementocattlemen.org.
Follow me to Tennessee. Join your fellow cattlemen in Nashville for the 2014 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the oldest and largest convention for the beef industry, and it's great for education, networking, and fun. Plus, check out the NCBA Trade Show for the latest technology. It's the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, February 4th through 7th in Nashville. Visit beefusa.org for more.
Welcome back. It's the experiences in a kid's life that sets their future into motion. A great experience can even influence their entire career path. That's why FFA is set on providing the best experiences possible to its students. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Sharon Alseth visits two FFA chapters, one in California and one in North Dakota, to learn how Zoetis has teamed up with FFA members to help support the real-world dreams of agriculture students.
It's important to give back to organizations like FFA because they're the future of our business, they're the future of our industry, and we want to find ways to keep them involved and grow in our industry so we continue to have good people growing and being part of it.
Zoetis' FFA support program provides many opportunities to young people around the country. The Tulare, California FFA chapter has greatly benefited from the program, and it's helped many students realize the importance of agriculture.
FFA is a way that kids can get involved and get to learn why agriculture is important.
Really what made me get involved is I grew up in a dairy my entire life and I kind of wanted to continue in the agriculture area, so I was enrolled in an agriculture biology class, and that's what really threw me into the FFA, was an advisor who took my hand and introduced me to the leadership aspect.
Each FFA chapter aims to give young people agricultural knowledge and experiences that can help them in every facet of life. The Tulare FFA chapter offers a unique experience. It supports a full-time dairy operation run by the students.
The commercial dairy is what makes us kind of different than everybody else, because from what I understand, there's only one other school in the country that has a dairy. The kids get a lot of hands-on training. They get an opportunity to do everything from herd health, maintenance and care, all the way to putting milk in the tank and shipping it off the creamery, so that they get to do it all.
Dave Catano believes the real working knowledge gained at the school reaches far beyond the farm and can have a positive impact on many aspects of a young person's career. Zoetis and the Tulare community agree.
The way that the FFA program works is the veterinary clinic will enroll in the program and then designate a local FFA chapter to receive the program benefits. To complete this team effort, the program benefits are awarded through the veterinary clinic, who in turn presents the award to their local FFA chapter.
It's been very good to kind of see the activity and the involvement and being involved with the high school. I would encourage other veterinarians and professionals within the industry to try to give back the best they can. It's very rewarding to watch these kids basically pursue their dreams and careers and know that you're helping them get there one day.
The program allowed us to not have to spend any district money in order to purchase that feed wagon, which has changed how we're able to feed our animals and the types of rations we're able to use. It's minimized some of our expenses and maximize our efficiency in feeding animals. And plus, those feed wagons are used a lot in the real world, and so our kids, it gives them a chance to even learn about how a wagon like that operates and why we need to have it.
Tulare FFA is one of the few FFAs that have an operating and functioning dairy facility, and things were getting a little difficult where students were baling by hand, and they graced us with a feed wagon or a feed mixer in order to give better nutrition to our animals.
Zoetis aims to improve the experiences at FFA chapters across the nation. It's something that Territory Business Manager Kirk Jacinto says is an important aspect of the support program.
The best part about my job is helping to improve things, whether that's dairy cattle health or dairy processes. I find it really enjoyable.
Support program has truly allowed us to thrive with this new feed wagon. That's why we appreciate so much support from companies like them who believe in us and believe in our program.
The Zoetis support program also gave the community another way to help the Tulare FFA chapter. Veterinarian Chris King says the program has been rewarding for him as well.
The donations that we send through the high school have allowed them to purchase equipment and supplies and just kind of help keep the day-to-day activities and duties on the dairies running for these students, and just giving them more opportunities to basically develop their interest as well. It's very rewarding.
We're able to buy new things to help with education purposes. We can take more kids to the leadership conferences we're able to go to. We're more hands-on, like with more money, more donations, we're able to do more hands-on things as classes, and it just really opens the variety of things we're able to do on this farm.
The FFA program in Tulare, California has seen tremendous growth in what it can offer its students because of the Zoetis FFA support program. Now, let's visit Napoleon, North Dakota, where the FFA students there are benefiting from the same support, but in a slightly different way.
FFA chapters around the country provide many different ways for students to gain hands-on experience in the agriculture industry. Both Bailey Bitts and Stephanie Gross know that hard work and a solid education will help them, but the experiences they're gaining from the Napoleon FFA chapter go far beyond the classroom.
Once I joined, I saw all the opportunities you got to do and all the skills that you get to learn, so I thought it'd be really great to stay in it and just to experience everything.
I'm involved in many different things in Napoleon, and FFA has done the most for me as far as teaching me my speaking skills, teaching me how to get along with people, teaching me how to meet people, teaching me just so many different valuable things that will be used in the future. Not only do you learn about agriculture, but you learn about your personality, your skills that you need to improve on.
Along with supporting chapters financially, Zoetis supports career development events and runs their own marketing contest for chapters to participate in. This contest helped FFA chapters promote the effective, economic use of cattle animal health products. Ag education instructor and advisor Brian Schneider says the contest was a perfect way for his class to engage with the local community and sharpen their marketing skills, while also raising funds for student activities.
It's huge. It's been a huge financial benefit to us, And last year, the program they came out with, the marketing contest, was a perfect fit for one of our premier events that we do here in Napoleon, which is the sales. It was just a perfect fit.
The prize money from the marketing contest afforded the opportunity for more students from the Napoleon chapter to participate in regional and national contests and conventions.
This competition allowed us to take over 20 students to the National FFA convention, and that is unbelievable. Most chapters only get to take 5 to 6 students, and with the money that was donated, they allowed us to take those students and get them ready to compete at nationals and to not only have, the chance to compete, but have the chance to travel.
The marketing team also had a chance to visit Zoetis headquarters in Madison, New Jersey, where they presented their marketing ideas to top industry professionals.
So we got to go out to New York City. We flew in there, and our local rep, Donnie Wald, met us there. And we got to go all over New York and tour it. And then the last day, we went out to New Jersey and we presented our marketing plan. Overall, it was just a really great experience.
The trip was a lifetime experience. I've never had an opportunity like that before. I'm just a small town girl. I've never gotten to travel. So getting to go to New Jersey was huge for me, as well as the other people that got to go with me.
To see them in front of a group of executives like that, and you could tell they were both interacted well, and they got a lot out of the experience. The people that they presented to were kind of amazed at, for the age level of those students, how they could get up and make a presentation in front of them. It was just a perfect fit.
The FFA support is helping grow the next generation of American agriculture by providing experiences these future leaders will remember forever.
I think it's one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I think about it all the time.
It's something that can never be taken away from you, and I think hands-on experience that we get in this chapter is only going to further our learning and education and passion for agriculture.
We are the next generation to feed the world, and I believe that it is a positive investment and that it is putting your money to good use to help these students pursue their dreams and pursue their careers in agriculture.
Reporting from Tulare, California and Napoleon, North Dakota, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To learn how to participate in the Zoetis support program, log on to zoetis.com or head to our website at cattlementocattlemen.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's an easier way to help protect your horse from West Nile virus. West Nile Innovator. No other vaccine has helped protect more horses. Talk to your veterinarian today.
Tough trailers built for tough country. Big Ben Trailers manufactures a different kind of trailer, one that's built to put up with the rough conditions found on the ranch. Rugged build using heavy gauge powder coated steel and a 2x4 rectangle tube frame. There's a 1-inch gap between the side and floor, so there's no place for water or manure to accumulate and rust. Big Ben trailers are loaded with standard features: a lever action hitch, a 3-foot escape gate and a middle sorting gate, rhino lining along the front edges, and a receiver hitch to tow another trailer, chute, or other equipment. Tough and practical. That's Big Ben Trailers, designed and built by a working cattleman. You can rely on and trust Big Ben Trailers for their durability and convenient features. Reasonably priced for any rancher to afford. For a list of dealers and other design features, visit BigBenTrailers.com. Big Ben Trailers, built cattlemen tough.
It's deer season savings time, just when you need it most. With 0% financing on John Deere mower conditioners, balers, and select hay tools. Plus, get 0% financing on all John Deere utility tractors up to 140 horsepower. It's the season for savings on hay tools and tractors. Deer season. Be sure to stop by today.
Welcome back. Competitors on the rodeo circuit can't afford to have an off day. It will affect their standing and their pocketbook. The same thing goes for ranchers. You need to be on the top of your game every day. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter traveled to Cross Plains, Texas to see how one rancher's experience and never-ending enthusiasm lays the foundation for his personal and professional success.
Professional steer wrestler and rancher Matt Reeves has a definite formula for success.
You need to ride a good horse, and you need to capitalize on opportunities. Stay healthy, stay fit, do all the things that there is to do. Know what fits you, and go from there.
After many years of training, hard work, and dedication to his craft, Matt is enjoying the rewards of his profession.
I've rodeoed since I was a kid. I started steer wrestling in high school. This year was the best year I've ever had. It's been amazing. I qualified for every finals I could qualify for this year, and so that was interesting, from the CFR, NFR, All-American finals, our circuit finals, and I'm winning the circuit again, so it looks like I should qualify for the DNC NFR.
Out of the spotlight, Matt brings that same passion and preparation for the rodeo to his responsibilities on the family ranch in Central Texas.
I analyze everything deeply, whether it's a 4-second bulldog and run or a 3-second bulldog and run, or whether it's looking at the cattle and paying attention to which ones look different than they did yesterday. And my job here on the operation, as far as looking after the cattle and taking care of them and being the day-to-day eyes, being very detail-oriented and being very analyzing what they look like today compared to what they look like yesterday is very important. So that's a big deal.
Along with evaluating the outward signs of his blended herd's health daily, Matt faithfully follows a parasite management program to help ensure their overall well-being.
Most of the profit loss that you see in an operation are things you don't see, whether it's your man bought yearlings that were already sick, or whether it's other things. You're not going to walk out and see bacteria, and you're not going to walk out and see parasites. If you see parasite problems in your herd, you have a major problem.
One of Matt's top herd health practices is teaming up with Dectomax to prevent and control parasites.
We worry about making sure that we have a good deworming program simply due to the fact that they are all commingled. As we process, we deworm everything with Dectomax. It seems to be the best product that we've found to take care of all the internal and external parasites. Dectomax just works good as far as getting a good kill on the parasites that we see in the area and from the areas that our cattle come from.
Matt knows that parasites can eat away at his profits by negatively affecting appetites and restricting the absorption of essential nutrients.
We want to clean them out so that they have the ability to gain the max amount of weight that they can. We want to increase our average daily gain and increase our gain here. The more blood flow they lose, the more nutrients they lose because of the parasites. It's not a symbiotic relationship, it's a parasitic relationship. So we need to make sure that we take care of those things so that we don't have to worry about lost income from lost gain.
Working with his father-in-law, Sam King, Matt applies Dectomax as part of their processing. In the warm months, they apply Dectomax Pour-On. In the fall and winter, they switch to Dectomax Injectable.
The biggest strength in Dectomax that I see is the fact that we get a wonderful control on the internal and external parasites. During the spring and summer and early fall here before the freeze, we have great control of the external parasites, whether it's horn flies or biting flies. And then, of course, we have great control of all internal parasites. We like to use the injectable on the yearlings when we can.
Dectomax treats and controls the parasites that negatively influence all areas of cattle health, from a loss of animal productivity to a lowered immune response to visible external symptoms.
We don't want to leave any money out in the pasture. And that's the main thing, whether you're running cows and calves or whether you're running yearlings. If you have a good, strong parasitic program on your cows, you produce more milk, you wean heavier calves. You wind up with more profitability because of higher average daily gains once we get here. More pounds is more dollars.
Matt and his family have been such believers in Dectomax that Matt now wears Dectomax on his sleeve in the competitions.
These are products we use, and that's a good thing. And so being involved with them and being in the print and being on the television, it's simple when you believe in what you're talking about.
Both in the chute and on the circuit, Matt recognizes what results he wants and how to achieve them.
Rodeo and ranching have gone well and worked hand in hand and been good to us. I get to do what I wanted to do. When they asked me when I was in 3rd grade, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I wanted to rodeo, and I wanted to run cattle, and that's what I get to do. So there's not very many people that get to do that.
In Cross Plains, Texas, I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Matt is competing now, so be sure to look him up when he comes to your area. We wish you the very best, Matt. And if you'd like to learn more about Zoetis and Dectomax, just visit our website. That's cattlementocattlemen.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This business can take time away and become more of your family than your actual family. My days were tough. I had a lot of doctoring, a lot of pulling. Now our days on the feed yard are happy days. It's more about looking at the cattle and enjoying what we're producing versus the alternative, which is pull and treat and bang our head against the wall. We have never wavered from Draxon. We've seen the benefits just keep getting better and better.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right. Whether it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots, when you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real, feeding my family a home-cooked meal. That's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
I'm Kevin Oxter, host of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Join me Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, right here on RFD TV. As we celebrate Cattlemen to Cattlemen tonight, we also wanted to celebrate the leadership of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Volunteer producer leaders take the reins of the organization and lead the way in making NCBA a powerful voice for all in the cattle industry. And as Matt Fleck reports, one of those strong leaders from the past was a Florida producer who shattered a number of barriers back in 1985.
Joanne Smith grew up on a Florida cattle operation and married a Florida cattleman. Today, she still enjoys watching her son Marty and her grandchildren working cattle on the Smith Brothers operation in Wakahuta, Florida.
We're one of those families that settled here. The grandchildren are the 6th generation here on the same place. And of course, it's evolved over time.
We're primarily a cattle and timber operation. This ranch has been here since the 1850s. And throughout that time has always been involved with cattle and timber, and that's what we continue to do today.
Joanne Smith's legacy in the cattle industry extends far beyond the fence lines of the family operation in North Florida. In 1985, Joanne became the first female president of the National Cattlemen.
Now, this was a total shock to many cattlemen, I'm sure, to have a female woman from the South be president of the association. I was approached in the early 80s to consider running for president of the National Cattlemen. And I will never forget, my husband said, that's silly because you will never be elected. And I was stubborn enough to really consider it, to take it under consideration. It was interesting that a group of men, a group of cattlemen and feeders came to me and said, it's time for a woman, and we think that woman is you. You should try it. We want to see you put your name in the hat, and we'll back you.
Joanne had a tough road because the 1980s were not the best of times. Beef's image as a healthy food choice took a major hit in the media, and consumers began turning away from beef.
1985 was a very difficult time. I always said it was awful to get off of an airplane, go into a meeting, and be met with some of your buddies saying that a mutual friend had lost their operation because prices were so bad and they just could not make it. You really become a spokesman who have multitudes of issues to talk to various groups about, whether it's public lands, whether it's exports, whether it's imports, the list goes on and on. One of the top lessons that I learned is to be prepared. The other thing I learned is you can't win a battle by yourself. You have to have other people. Whether it's an organization, whether it's other friends, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's church, I don't care if it's, NCBA. You have to have a coalition of people working with you. That I learned.
As the National Cattlemen's president, Joanne helped press for increased U.S. beef exports to Japan, and she led the charge to create the National Beef Checkoff. In 1986, she became the first chairman of the Beef Board.
What have we been able to do? I think over time it's proven itself. Consumer demand has risen. We're providing the consumer with the product that she wants now or he wants.
After leading the Beef Checkoff, Joanne Smith went on to the USDA, serving as an assistant secretary. With all her experiences, she has built a legacy of leadership within the beef cattle industry, something her family has learned from.
Just to always be proud of yourself and take pride in what you do. Just always keep upbeat and happy.
She did things that, when you go back and look at the timing of when she did what she did, it was, she was out there by herself. And we all learned a lot from her. I think my daughter learned how to speak publicly at age 3 months. Just very proud of her.
It really is, tremendous experience and tremendous education, being exposed to all of the things that she did and went through.
Joanne Smith is one of the most wonderful, smart individuals I've ever met. She's, for a mother-in-law, she is the best ever, but I always have admired her because she just, her thinking about life is that you have to give back. You always want to put forth your best effort. Take pride in yourself, take pride in what you do, but make sure too that you're giving back, not just to the land, but to your community.
Joanne still keeps up with key cattle industry issues, including the fight against the death tax, but she most enjoys seeing the family cattle business carrying on for a 6th generation.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud that the kids are very interested, like this place, like to be here. There's nothing more warm and enjoyable than seeing your grandchildren be a part of it, whether it's putting out feed, whether it's riding and looking at the animals, and that's really what life is all about.
From Wakahuta, Florida, I'm Matt Fleck, reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Joanne Smith is one of a long line of talented leaders that the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has been honored to have at the helm. Join cattlemen and women just like Joanne as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Call us now at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us at beefusa.org.
New Holland is smart for the way you farm. And New Holland round balers are smart for the way you raise cattle. By focusing on making the densest bale possible, New Holland round balers pack more into each bale, saving you time, fuel, and money. Now that's smart. We can also match your feeding requirements with a variety of bale slicing, cutting, and wrapping options to help maximize your time. Plus, with models designed specifically for silage or specialty crop harvest, New Holland gives you the power to make smart choices to fit your farm or ranch. You work hard to get the most out of every hay season to benefit you and your cattle. From mower conditioners to balers and tractors, New Holland has the right solutions to help you make quality hay and forage for your cattle operation. Visit your New Holland dealer to learn more about the complete lineup of New Holland equipment, in addition to all the benefits available to cattle producers.
Welcome back. According to the USDA's Census of Agriculture, the average age of an American farmer today is 57 years old, and that number continues to rise with each passing year. That's why it's more important than ever before for the younger generation of cattle producers to stand up and get involved. Cattlemen and Cattlemen reporter Sharon Alseth met up with two young producers in South Carolina who are working hard to carve out a future in the beef industry.
I love cattle. It's something that's been in me since I was a little kid. And if it's in you, you can't get it out of you.
Brandon Hurley lives and breathes the cattle industry. At age 34, he's the owner of Bar H Cattle Company in Gray Court, South Carolina. He started the operation from the ground up 10 years ago with just 3 cows.
Paid my way through school and got out and came here and started and just put my head down and wouldn't take no for an answer. Began backgrounding steer calves and putting weight on them and selling them in load lots, and then got into the cow-calf business. So built it up and to where we are today.
Today, Bar H Cattle is a successful cow-calf operation, and Brandon also stocks nearly 500 calves each year. But the ranch isn't the only thing growing. Last October, Brandon found love in the land of cattle and married his wife, Eva.
Eva's my partner, and that's how I would describe her in every way. She, not only in our family and our personal lives, but here on this operation, she's definitely my right arm here. There's no doubt about that.
He definitely is my partner, and there's things that he's better at than things that I'm better at as far as managing the business, and I think we complement each other in our partnership together.
Eva also grew up on a farm. She graduated from West Virginia University with a major in agribusiness management and rural development, and came to South Carolina to start her career. Not only does she have a job in town, but she also works daily with Brandon on the ranch.
It does take a lot of hard work to try to keep both in check, because you get up in the morning, you got to give 110% at your real job, but you come home to your other real job. So I come home in the evenings, and I've got my chores I do on a daily basis, and then we always check the cow herd together. Like Brandon said, it's once you grow up on a farm, it's kind of in your blood, and nice to be able to come here after work and relax and breathe fresh air and get dirty.
Even with his busy schedule, Brandon is always looking for ways to be involved in the industry off the ranch. Most recently, he was the president of the South Carolina Cattlemen's Association.
I was president for 2 years, from 2010 to 2012. I enjoyed my time, met a lot of great people, worked with a lot of good people. We've got a great set of legislators and folks in Columbia at our capital who have done an excellent job, and Cattlemen's and the Beef Council and the Farm Bureau are really on the same page as far as cattle producers and farmers are concerned.
Different organizations coming together for the benefit of the cattle industry is extremely important, and Brandon says no one knows that better than the National Cattlemen's Beef Association.
I'm very proud to be associated with NCBA. NCBA has a strong voice, and it's made up from the sum of the people that are a part of it. And so I can't go to Washington every day and fight and argue my case, which allows me to be able to farm and ranch for a living. But NCBA can. And They are a very, very strong organization and a respected organization.
The future is always on their minds. As today's cattle producers are aging, Brandon and Eva know that continuing to build up their business is more important than ever before, and they're finding creative ways to do it.
You have to be willing to sit down and think about how to get involved. And I went to a selected group of older farmers around here, older cattlemen around here, and I said, look, if you ever decide to get out of the business, let me know. And I will buy you cattle, lease your property, and we'll leave everything just as it is. The beauty of it is the cattle are still in their backyard. So they can still walk outside every day and see the cows that they owned for so many years still standing there. Nothing's different other than they don't have to go feed them in the wintertime or cut hay in the summer.
It's not work if you love what you're doing. I was reading a quote and I stumbled across it. It was from Vince Lombardi, and it says the difference between successful people and others is not from the lack of knowledge, but it's rather from their lack of will. So if you have the will to do it, you can do anything you want to.
There is a huge opportunity here for young people to get involved in the cattle business. Just always be willing to think outside the box. Don't ever get too comfortable where you are. There's always ways of increasing and doing more and doing better. You just have to think of how you want to do it and where you want to go.
Brandon and Eva say keeping your eye on the goal, along with hard work and determination, are the keys to being successful in the cattle business. And it doesn't matter how old or young you are.
You can't ever get to where you want to be if you don't know where you want to go. If you want to do this, the only thing stopping you is the limitations you put on yourself. Because if you want to do it, it's possible.
Reporting from Bar H Cattle in Gray Court, South Carolina, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Brandon and Eva work hard every day to ensure the beef industry is around for future generations of cattle producers to enjoy. Won't you join their efforts by becoming a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association? Joining is easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or email us at c2c@beef.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's an easier way to help protect your horse from West Nile virus. West Nile Innovator. No other vaccine has helped protect more horses. Talk to your veterinarian today.
I'm an NCBA member.
I'm an NCBA member because I think as an advocacy group, NCBA has done some great things for our industry, and I kind of feel compelled to give back some of what they've done for us.
Because this organization is looking out for cattle producers.
They understand what makes our cow-calf business profitable.
Join me today.
Join me today.
Join NCBA today. Head to beefusa.org or call 866-USA-BEEF.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Sometimes you feel like a block, and sometimes you don't. That's why Sweet Licks gives you a choice, in the bag, in the block, or in the tub. And Sweet Licks offers a complete line of vitamin, mineral, protein, and medicated nutritional supplements in the form you want to satisfy even the most discriminating domestic livestock, even the gourmet goat, or the finicky fowl, or the connoisseur cow. For information, 187 Sweet Licks. Profitability never tasted so sweet. I had sold a magic bolus to a farmer. It was guaranteed to rid his herd of flies. It would pass out with a pucky, and if everyone got lucky, it would kill the eggs the flies laid in the pies. He had bought enough to do 100 critters. These had better work, he said. They cost enough. Well, I can guarantee you they'll do it. I'll come out and take you through it. You just follow the directions for the stuff. Well, I drove out and found the farmer nearly finished. But the scene I saw sent shivers up my spine. Was the AI tech invited? Had the farmer grown nearsighted? Because a crowd was gathered round the cows behind. In the middle, wearing goggles and a slicker, smeared with green effluent like he'd hit the fan, dressed in pre-composted splendor, poised at ready to rear-ender, stood the farmer with a bowling gun in hand. How's it going, boys? I asked with trepidation. Well, this bothers some cows more than I'd have thought. This procedure don't impress her. I said, try a tongue depressor. But I knew that all his work had been for naught. So I watched him put the bolus. I can't say it. My commission check was going up in smoke. I was gonna take a skinning, and then the whole crew started grinning, and I realized they'd staged it as a joke. Well, they got me. At the office, when I told the boss my story, he got livid, said I'd bollocksed up the sale. Now we'll have to go redo them. What the heck did you say to them? Well, since they only had 10 left, I held the tale. This is Baxter Black from back there.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. We'll see you right back here next week on RFD TV.